Hi everyone, this is Demel Gonzalez with Heartwood Financial Services, and welcome to the monthly market update. Hope everybody's having a great summer. It's been pretty good for us so far, and I just wanted to bring you this video to kind of cut through all the noise and all the hype that you hear in the news. Hopefully you'll find the videos interesting and educational, and just give you the facts and of course my personal opinion on things as well. So enjoy. Okay, let's start with the asset class returns, and let's focus on the right side of this graphic. You can see the year to date. REITs are still up top at 19.3%. They have had a nice increase over the last quarter, but large cap and small cap stocks have made the biggest gains here in the last quarter. Large caps are up now 18.5, small caps up about 17. Small caps have lagged a little bit the large caps. So some people think that that might be a sign that the economy is not as strong. So it'll be interesting to continue to keep an eye on that. We also have developed market equity and emerging market equity that has fallen behind the domestic stocks at 14.5 and 10.8. Now that might change. We'll have to see. The historical returns for those particular emerging market equity is higher. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But high yield continues to outperform the high grade fixed income, 9.5 versus 6.1. Although 6.1 is still pretty darn good. Commodities up about 5% and even cash at 1.2%. So overall it's been a great year, a nice recovery from last year, and pretty much every asset class showing some strong growth. Leading indicators. Remember, the leading indicators show us how the economy is doing and how it's developing in the future. So it's more of a forward-looking type of indicator. And as you can see here on the top, things are expanding. The left side is what's expanding but is slowing down. The right is what's actually increasing. And so the red dot here shows the aggregate of all these different indicators. And as you can see in the past, the aggregate has been in the growth but slowing down phase. Now let me show you June. June, you can see that the red dot is still in that slowing down positive phase, but it's a little bit closer to the expansionary quadrant. A couple things have actually improved. We've had good job numbers that came out just last week, consumer sentiment numbers that were pretty good. The yield curve is starting to look less inverted. A lot of different things that have actually shown some signs of stabilization. So as you can see here, the economy still looks pretty good, has been slowing down, but has been showing some signs of stabilization. So what's been the biggest catalyst to the stabilization in the economy and the market, frankly, doing as well as it did in June? Well, there's a couple of reasons, but probably the biggest one is this right here. Rate cut probability is up. Okay, this is a graphic that shows the July meeting for the Fed. What are the chances of them cutting rates by 0.25 of a percent or even 0.5 of a percent? You can see this is almost baked in the cake. This is a very high percentage. And after listening to Jerome Powell over the last couple days, it looks like this is pretty much a done deal, which I wasn't sure of until really the last couple days. So with interest rates going down, this is definitely going to help equity markets and even bonds. So here's the yield curve again. And as I showed you last time, we have a partial inversion going on here. That's where the short-term rates are a little bit higher than the longer-term rates, although it's not, for the full yield curve, but at least for this intermediate range. And what's going to happen here in July, if the Fed really does cut interest rates, that's going to push this the short-term part of the yield curve down over here, depending on how much they cut. And if they were to do that, that's going to make the yield curve look more normal like it did in this dotted line back several years ago. That actually is a very good sign, because usually when we have an inversion, it's a sign of a recession. So if we can get back to a normal sloping yield curve, we would have a yield curve that looks more normal and healthy. So I want to show you this graphic too, because I've seen some headlines that show how the economy has been growing, and it's been the longest expansionary period ever. Now, this is post-war expansions, but that is true. We are now into the 121st month. Okay, the longest one before then was back in the 90s, which was 120 months. And so if you only look at that data, you might think, well, maybe things are about to go down. It's difficult for the economy to go up for this long. Now, the caveat that I would like to point out is you can see the average annual GDP growth rate, 3.8% for that period, where it has only been 2.3%. So again, if you do the math, you know how I love that, you can see the cumulative amount of growth that we've had, even though it's been over a long period of time, is really not that great. And there's potential room for more when you look at the cumulative growth of all these other expansionary periods. So we may not be over yet. So to sum it up, the market has been pretty fairly valued. I would say fully valued. Anticipating some good things to happen, maybe rate cuts, maybe more trade progress, a little bit of both. But that's something to keep an eye on, because if it doesn't work out, there could be some correction of that market valuation. The economy has been slowing, especially globally, but it does appear that there is some stabilization. We saw the unemployment numbers, the consumer sentiment still being strong. And lastly, what we're going to do over the summer is, again, keep things pretty neutral. Don't want to take too much of a chance just in case some of these things don't materialize. But one of the changes is we're going to be adding some duration to the bond portfolios, get a little bit more yield. The risk of interest rates going up are much, much less now, which improves their return profile. So hope that's helpful. I got one last little educational piece that I'd like for you to hang in there for, and I hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll see you later. Social Security, should I wait? So I get this question asked a lot, which is why I wanted to include it in the video. So there's a lot of different factors you need to consider if you should take Social Security early or delay it, and how you should claim it. But a couple key things that I wanted to point out to you on this video are these two graphics here. If you delay taking Social Security to age 70, the break-even is about 10 years, meaning that it takes about 10 years to recoup the delaying of taking it sooner by a higher income amount that you get. Because Social Security will give you an 8% increase in your benefit for every year you delay it. Okay, so it's about a 10-year break-even. So of course, that begs the question, well, I don't know how long I'm going to live, Deemel. Well, if you look at the actuarial numbers, this is for 80-year to make it to 80 years. Us guys, we got a 63% chance. You ladies always have a better chance making it to 73. But at least one of you being around to 80, there is a 90% chance. And so as you can see, just by looking at these two factors, why a lot of financial advisors, planners, CPAs like to tell people, hey, you should probably delay your Social Security and wait, because you'll get more payments and it'll be a nice secure source of income for you later in retirement. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful summer. I'm going to leave you here with this beautiful picture of my family with myself in there with a backdrop of the Coliseum at night. It was beautiful. We took a pretty epic summer vacation with the family here recently. And I'm so thankful to all my clients to give me the opportunity to do this. We are so blessed. So thank you all, and God bless everybody, and have a great